Hello, I'm Jacqueline McInnes Wood, and welcome back to my official channel.
The flames of romance have just ignited a massive corporate war as a candlelit dinner ends in shattered hearts and a shocking confession. Hello, I'm Jacqueline from the B&B News and Spoilers YouTube channel. I have to start right off the bat with the absolute masterpiece of a scene we just witnessed between Will and Electra at the beach house. I feel so incredibly exhilarated by that romantic candlelit dinner sequence because to me, it finally proved that the writers are willing to let these characters be messy, honest, and painfully real. When Will stood there looking so incredibly hopeful amidst that sea of flickering candles that he painstakingly prepared to celebrate them moving in together. And Electra suddenly burst into tears and physically pushed him away. I actually gasped out loud. I loved the way the warm lighting of the room suddenly felt cold and isolating the second she stepped back from his embrace. It was a visually stunning moment that perfectly captured the emotional whiplash of the scene. The way I interpret it, this was the exact emotional catharsis the storyline desperately needed. I know a lot of people are saying this love triangle is dragging or that Electra is playing games with Will's heart. But I actually think the slow burn is exactly what's needed because I feel like it makes this inevitable explosion so much more impactful. When Electra choked on her sobs and confessed that her heart never truly belonged to Will since that fateful moonlight kiss with RJ, I felt a profound sense of relief. I think the writer's choice to have her admit this right as they were supposed to be celebrating their new life together was brilliant because it made me feel the crushing weight of her guilt. She couldn't live the lie for one more second, and the juxtaposition of the romantic setting against her devastating confession was pure soap opera perfection. I genuinely think we're missing the point if we just label Electra as a villain or a heartbreaker here. I feel like this is the best they've written Electra because they are allowing her to be a flawed, overwhelmed young woman trying to navigate impossible feelings. When she admitted that she tried to use Will's love as a medicine to forget her intense feelings for RJ, my heart broke for both of them. I believe she genuinely wanted to love Will. She wanted the safety he provided, especially after all the trauma and betrayal she faced with her Aunt Ivy's relentless manipulation. But the way she delivered that line, looking at the floor because she couldn't bear to meet Will's eyes, showed me that she was suffocating under the weight of her own deception. And let's talk about Will's overbearing care, because I think it is a fascinating character flaw that makes him so incredibly compelling right now. In my opinion, Will's intense devotion to Electra wasn't just about romance, it was about control and security in a world where he was losing everything else. I feel like we have to remember that Will was recently fired from Forrester Creations, largely because of his violent clash with RJ over Electra. He lost his place in his family's legacy company. So I believe he poured all of that desperate, frantic energy into this relationship. When Electra told him that his constant, overwhelming attention was actually suffocating her, I thought it was a brilliant psychological reveal. Will is a Spencer, and Spencers love hard, but they also love possessively. His attempt to build a perfect candlelit fortress for them was exactly what drove her away. The sheer devastation on Will's face when the reality of her words hit him was incredible television. I love the subtle acting choice where Will's hands just dropped to his sides, leaving him dead silent and completely defeated. I feel so deeply for him in this moment because he truly went all out. He set up those candles, he poured his heart into celebrating their new chapter, and instead he was handed his absolute worst nightmare. I think the absolute tragedy of Will's arc is that he did everything right on paper. He fought off Ivy's schemes, he defended Electra's honor, and he offered her the world. But he couldn't compete with a ghost. He couldn't compete with the memory of RJ under the moonlight, which brings me to RJ Forrester. The way I see it, RJ has been the magnetic looming shadow over this relationship for months, and I am so thrilled that the show is finally addressing the undeniable pull between him and Electra. I feel like the contrast between Will and RJ is what makes this love triangle so deliciously classic. Will offers stability, fierce protection, and a somewhat suffocating devotion. But RJ offers passion, rebellion, and a connection that Electra simply cannot rationalize away. When Electra referenced that fateful moonlight kiss with RJ, I immediately thought back to how beautifully shot that scene was and how undeniable their chemistry felt. I believe Electra has been fighting a losing battle against her own heart ever since that night by the pool. But what makes me truly obsessed with this breakup is the massive ripple effect it is going to have on the entire canvas. I think we are about to witness the Spencer versus Forrester war go absolutely nuclear. In my opinion, this is no longer just a story about three young people navigating their love lives. This is a proxy war for their families. When Electra declared that she was leaving Will to go back to RJ, his biggest, most hated rival, I felt a chill go down my spine. I believe this romantic betrayal is the exact spark that will ignite the powder keg that has been building since Will was fired and moved over to Logan Designs. The personal and the professional are about to collide in the most spectacular way. I feel like this heartbreak is going to fundamentally change Will Spencer, and I am so here for it. I think Will has been trying to play the good guy, trying to be the romantic hero who saves the girl from the manipulative Foresters. But now that the girl has chosen the Forester over him, I believe we are going to see the true Dollar Bill Spencer genetics come out to play. I loved the way Will's expression hardened right at the end of the scene. The profound sadness instantly morphed into a cold, furious glare. To me, that look proved that Will is done playing nice. I think he is going to channel all of this agony into destroying RJ, both personally and professionally. I genuinely think we're missing the point if we don't connect this romantic devastation to the ongoing corporate battle between Logan and Forrester. I feel like Will is going to use his new position at Logan to wage an absolute war on RJ's designs at Forrester Creation. We already know that Bill and Katie are pushing Logan's new line into hyperdrive to crush Forrester's upcoming couture launch. I believe Will is now going to become the most ruthless soldier in that Spencer army. When he told RJ previously that he wouldn't be bullied out of town, I felt like that was a promise. Now that RJ has taken the woman he loves, I think Will is going to try to take everything RJ holds dear. As for Electra and RJ, I am so incredibly excited to see where they go from here. I know some fans might think Electra is making a massive mistake by running back to the guy who caused so much friction, but I actually think this is the most authentic, character driven choice she could make. I feel like Electra has been living her life according to what she should do rather than what she wants to do. Choosing RJ is messy. It's going to infuriate her family. It's going to cause chaos at Forrester, and it's going to put a massive target on her back from the Spencers. But the way I interpret her tears in that candlelit room, she would rather face all of that chaos than live one more day in a safe, suffocating lie with Will. I want to take a moment to specifically praise the dialogue in this episode because I think it was some of the sharpest, most emotionally resonant writing we've had all season. When Electra said, "I tried to use your love as a medicine," I felt that right in my chest. It is such a brutal, honest admission of guilt. I think it perfectly encapsulates the tragedy of rebound relationships. I loved that the writers didn't have her offer empty platitudes. Like, it's not you, it's me. She told Will exactly what he was to her. A cure that didn't work. I feel like that level of raw honesty is what makes the bold and the beautiful so captivating when it hits its stride. It wasn't malicious. It was just a heartbreaking truth. I know there's a vocal segment of the fandom complaining that Will and Electra's reunion was too short-lived or that they shouldn't have moved in together if she was just going to dump him. But I actually think the false start was entirely necessary for her character growth. In my opinion, Electra had to try to build a life with Will to realize that it wasn't what she wanted. I feel like If they had just broken up after Ivy's manipulation was revealed, it wouldn't have had the same emotional weight. The fact that they survived Ivy's scheming, reunited, and took the massive step of moving in together, only for Electra to realize that the problem wasn't external, it was internal, is brilliant storytelling. And let's return to the visual brilliance of that beach house set. I think the set decorators and lighting directors deserve massive applause for this episode. I love the way the dozens of candles created this claustrophobic, overwhelmingly romantic atmosphere. It visually represented exactly what Electra was feeling. Will's love was beautiful, but it was taking up all the oxygen in the room. I feel like the choice to have her physically push him away, stepping out of the warm glow of the candlelight and into the shadows of the hallway, was a masterclass in visual metaphor. It made me feel the exact moment their relationship died, and it left me completely breathless. Moving forward, I believe this single scene is going to be the catalyst for the next 6 months of storyline. I feel so invigorated by the potential here. We have Will, armed with Spencer ruthlessness and a broken heart, ready to burn Forrester to the ground. We have RJ, smug and victorious, but totally unaware of the hurricane coming his way. And we have Electra, finally honest with herself, but standing right in the crossfire of a brewing dynasty war. I think the writers have perfectly positioned these characters for maximum drama, and I cannot wait to see how Bill Spencer reacts when he finds out a Forrester broke his son's heart again. The fallout is going to be absolutely legendary. The heartbreak was explosive, and the Spencer Forrester war is officially reignited. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Jacqueline, wishing you a beautiful day ahead.
Thank you for watching my video. See you in the next videos. Please subscribe to my channel to see the latest videos.